You can tell I'm not from around here, and given the virtual nature of the web and social networking, you pretty much work anywhere. So we'll talk about that. I'm B.J. Emerson. My title is Director of Information and Social Technologies. We just changed it. Director of Information and Social Technologies. Just a title I made up, really, and so I thought it fit well. Social Technologies, why not? It was Director of Information Technologies, which is more of a traditional IT role. But over the last year, what I'll share here, kind of what we've been doing with Tasti-D-Lite, just expanding that IT role into social technologies, and what that means, and how we integrate those things with the different platforms for MySpace, or Facebook, and all those kinds of things. Okay, just a little bit of background, and I'll go through some of this kind of quickly and get on to the good stuff. Tasti-D-Lite started in 1987 on the Upper East Side. It grew as a chain of licensed stores, which means it wasn't a franchised concept, and it just grew organically with a very loose kind of business format, and quickly became had a cult following in Manhattan, and grew to I don't know, 70, 80 stores, something like that. And perhaps if you've seen Sex and the City, that kind of bolstered our popularity a little bit. And so until late 2007, early 2008, it was still this licensed chain of stores. It really didn't have a corporate structure. It didn't have any kind of corporate representation or support for these stores. And the concept was actually acquired in 2007, and then we started and that's when I was brought on board to franchise the concept, and now we're franchising Tasti-D-Lite centers throughout the United States and throughout the world. And I don't want this to sound like a Tasti-D-Lite commercial, because I really think there's value here in what we've done with the social media scene, as I think you'll see. So I again apologize, don't want to sound like a commercial. I thought that this would be beneficial to your class, and perhaps I could learn something as well as we perhaps have some exchange here. So what we found, and this is going back about a year, what we found was that we didn't have any representation on the web from a corporate sense, and so we weren't engaging customers, but all these customers were creating content on the web. And so if you go on the web and you look up Tasti-D-Lite, we had a really archaic looking website, and that was it. So all these customers are creating blog sites, there's pictures on Flickr, YouTube videos, 15 Facebook groups with over 500 members, having group names with Tasti-D-Lite addicts, things like that. So you have these people that are just passionate about the product, saying all this stuff on the web, but the corporate, the corporate presence, the brand, if you will, or the kind of people behind the scenes, or the owners of the company, for that matter, they're just not engaging the customers. So I was trying to think of a good picture for what this, good illustration of what this would look like. And again, here you have a bunch of customers really embracing a product or a brand, and there's no response. Okay, so this is the picture that I came up with. Is this is the customer, and this is the brand over here. Okay, that's not good. And so this is about a year ago. And so as we started looking on the web, and there were some things out there perhaps we wanted to get our arms around, and so we decided, well, let's jump into this social media stuff. And again, going back, this is a year now. Let's jump in and see what we can do. So what I wanted to talk about really was that whole process of the last year of what's happened from going to this to now embracing and engaging customers. And we have a tweet up tonight. We'll see how that goes. But really try to get some more interaction with the customers that are embracing this brand. So our approach, as we started to look at it and doing some research, thinking about how can we do this. You know, obviously, we want to create more touch points with the customer, promote new products, things like flavor alerts where at our different locations. What you can do is go on, find a location, subscribe to these alerts, so when your favorite flavor is being served on a given day, you get a text message or an email that says, hey, peanut butter is being served today at XYZ location.
Sorry to interrupt, but how many flavors are usually in each store? Because I've been in one in Miami Beach, and there's only about like 3 flavors on at the time.
Yep.
Usually every day it switches, or
yes, and that's part of it. I think for the customer is that a great question. I hope we have lots of questions and discussion. I'm trying to go in quickly here, just trying to catch up. Yes, there's really only 2 or 4 special flavors each day, but then we always have a chocolate and vanilla. But then there's 2 or 4 special flavors, and so it's those special flavors. When somebody's walking down the street and they see the flavor of the day board, and they say, they see, it's like the lottery. Oh, my favorite flavor is being served today. And so this allows them to, well, it exposes them to new flavors that they might not otherwise try. But hopefully you get the lottery. Today's your day. But great question.
It's good. It's very involving, too, to do it that way.
Yeah, we launched this about a year ago, and it's been great, integrated with our website. So a lot of what we try to do on the different social media sites is point customers to the website so they can subscribe to flavor alerts, and then we start capturing customer data. Then we start to get interesting, and we can really reach back out to them.
Is Tasti-D-Lite kosher? I'm pretty sure it is, right?
Yeah. All right. Okay, we want to increase presence and awareness, address customer misperceptions.
Well, carve in those too.
And I'll get more into the misperceptions here. Getting customer insights, very valuable. And lastly, maybe one of the more, another important thing, influencing search engine rankings can be done in really 2 different ways, as far as my understanding of it, is your traditional search engine optimization, where you're tweaking your website for search engine rankings based on certain keywords, or what's now termed social media optimization, where now we're just using all these different sites, mashing up, if you will, all this content and creating links between all these, and hopefully getting them to the website to do things like subscribe to flavor alerts, learn more about the product. These types of questions that you have, things, are they kosher, where are the locations, these types of things. So, in looking at this, and perhaps you've seen things like this before, where a company, and I think this is pretty typical, where a company would look at the internet as a whole, and say, here's all these sites, let's just get on all of them and point them all to our website, and do these different things. And really, I think that approach is much like the illustration of using a shotgun, kind of blast, instead of just a rifle or sniper, one bullet. And I want to talk more about that.
We don't use those metaphors in New York City.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm just...
I should have thought of that.